It is Monday. What a stressful day so far. So I had a hospital appointment. I had two, in fact, one at 3:30 and one at 4:30. And I got a call at 2:30 to say, hey, we're moving your 4:30 appointment to tomorrow morning. And I was like, what? I can't make that. And so thankfully they managed to continue on with it. I had some bloods done, I've had my injections. Hello, Mr. Cinnamon. Hi. Mwah. Look at how big you are now. Oh my god, you're so big. You're so big. Mwah. But yeah, no, so had that done. I was hoping to do a little bit more public access work with Cinna, as you guys have seen in the past couple of vlogs, but to be honest, I felt really unwell after my bloods and injections, and I thought I was going to pass out, so we just came home, and yeah, that's where we're at. I have such a phenomenally busy week ahead of me, and so I'm not too worried about it, but I think what we're going to do, are you listening? Are you listening? Mwah. You wiggle bum. That's a thumbnail. I think what we're going to do is we'll go to the field tonight. We might do a little bit of training there. I think it's really important. I've worked for... Just ignore Ted, case in the back of the car out. I've worked so hard for the past couple of months on securing Cinna's independence on his own without relying on Ted, but it's now to the point where I haven't actually, to be honest with you, worked very well on handling them both together or around impulse control when Ted is also around. So that's what we need to do now. Also, you know, earlier on when I said don't mind Ted just casing out the car, that's not what he was doing. He had found, he's currently also rooting down here, incredibly rude. He'd found this and he was trying to bring this to me, but unfortunately because I didn't pay attention to him, it now looks more like this. So to give him credit, he hasn't eaten it. Obviously, he would never do anything like that. But because I didn't pay him enough attention, that's what's happened, so. Oops. Okay, so we have just brought Ted to Paragon Vets again. He's just having an electrolyte checkup today, so they're just going to do some bloods on him, make sure that the treatment that he's receiving, I'll put the name here, is balancing his sodium and potassium well. And he's also going to have his ear checked just to make sure that the treatment is essentially doing its job. And then, I'm very lucky actually that my granddad has brought me along today, but it's his birthday today, so I'm being big brave. I'm being big brave, and I am going to, we're hopefully going to go to a pub for some dinner, but I haven't actually been anywhere like that since before COVID actually, so I think the last time I went anywhere was March 2020, otherwise it's just been hospital appointments, vet appointments, or the odd pet shop. So it's going to be really weird, because obviously in order to eat and drink you have to take a mask off, so yeah, kind of nervous actually, but I'm fully vaccinated now, and it's time, I think, to get back out into the world. But I'll show you what we get up to, what we have to eat, and fingers crossed Ted will be out soon. So yeah, catch you then. I suffer with everything, I just stopped caring.
Rob? Yeah? We just got time to table Shakespeare that apple just run off. And he is
Oh my goodness.
exactly what they wanted instead. Table 6, the other one out there.
Christ, it's only Tuesday. It's only Tuesday. So, hello. Hello. I've just got back from Cinna's agility. I should have a clip to insert to show you here. And also to go into the pub with my granddad, and actually I'm like really pleased because I was a little bit worried. I was worried on two fronts actually. The first being that it was my first time in a public space since March 2020, and I was a little bit anxious about taking my mask off, but actually I really enjoyed it and I wasn't worried at all. the pub managed it really well. Everybody was spaced super far apart. And the second was that it was also Ted's first time in a public environment for a couple of weeks, and I was kind of curious to see how he would manage, whether he'd be able to settle, and he actually did incredibly well. The pub had a little doggy menu, and I ordered him a doggy rump steak from it, so I think Ted had a great time actually, and he settled really well, so I didn't need to worry. I left Sinner at home with my mum, which it's important for him to learn that, you know, he can be without me, you know, he doesn't need me always present. And my mum took him on the school run. He did really well, apparently. He barked at 2 kids who came running screaming towards him, which is sort of understandable. We will need to work on that, but that's pretty good. But apparently they were very, very young. And when the older children came out, so the children around 8, 9, 10, he was absolutely fine. So that makes sense, really. So it's specifically young children that we're going to need to work on. He met a number of people. He was absolutely fine with them. So yeah, it seems like a positive day all round, really. I'm pretty much just going to chill for the rest of the evening. I think I feel rubbish since eating that meal, but it was worth it. It was really good. And it was nice to see my granddad happy and smiling. It's, as I said, it's his birthday today, so it was nice to kind of treat him to something. But yeah, counselling tomorrow, physio Thursday, agility Friday. I am goosed. Okay, so, oh my goodness, I'm so tired. As you can see, I'm still having to deal with this. Very annoying, to be honest. My guess is that it's because I've done too much this week, and so my digestive system is now kind of deteriorating a little bit, and I've got reverse motility, and so it's pushing the tube out, which was not pleasant to try and deal with this morning. I did manage to get it back in, but it's since come out again. Anyway, I digress. I kind of hate showing it, but also I feel like it's a side of life that you don't really see. I certainly never saw it before I got sick. So yeah, I gotta get ready for agility now. I am honestly feeling so crap, but it's the last day of me having to do stuff, and then I can rest on the weekend, and next week is quiet in comparison. So yeah, I should not try and lift my arms above my head until I can't see. I'm that dizzy. As you can see, I managed to get the tube back in a little bit. I have better tape on now, but it's still coming out. Really, it should be sitting about here. Anyway, I digress. Sorry. I've just got back from Sinner's agility. We were working on sending him out and back over a jump, and we were also working on sending him over 3 jumps and then through a tunnel and back over a jump coming towards me. It was a little bit difficult, just on the basis that it was quite a tight handling maneuver, and the idea was not to be doing any crosses, which crosses are something that I rely on quite heavily, being in a wheelchair, but crosses are considered a little bit too advanced at this stage. But otherwise, yeah, it was good. I don't know if I have anything else to say. I'm honestly so tired. This week there's just been, I think the past couple of weeks have just been so sort of full on that I'm kind of got to the point now where I don't really have a lot of sort of life left in me. So my usual enthusiasm and zest for life is lacking. But while I was in agility, my mum took Ted on a walk. So I can pretty much just go in and chill out now, but I do have a number of things that I need to catch up on. Whether I'm going to do those or not is another story, because I am feeling it at this point. Okay, so I really wanted to do a voiceover so that I could talk you through what I'm watching here, what I think, and how I kind of think Sinner's doing. He's quite sniffy. I think he's a little bit overwhelmed, but he's managing well. He slightly lifts his paw up there. Again, another sign of being a little bit uneasy. Really, had I have been noticing these signs, I wouldn't have opted to put him in a sit and wait here, but he manages it really well. I leave him on his own. Obviously, my mum is stood, a number of feet away. Again, a couple of signs of anxiety, but generally speaking, really nice behaviour. But overall, I think for a 8-month-old adolescent entire puppy to be walking off lead in a pet store, all along the right side there are rabbits, hamsters. I think this was a really nice try from him, and I certainly can't complain with how he's doing, especially considering he's not the most resilient puppy. I do like that he's automatically gone into a sit there. I do have to laugh at his face. I do like that he's automatically gone into a sit as soon as I've dropped the lead. That wasn't something I asked him to do. I'm testing here, talking to my mum. A problem that I often have with Ted is that he thinks every time I speak, I'm speaking to him. So just testing that out. I also here go and test reaching to pick something up off the shelf. Often with dogs that I've taught to help me, as soon as I lean forward out of my wheelchair, they'll jump in and they'll break their stay because they'll want to help and see what I need. And so it was really important that I start proofing that now, making sure that his stay is solid. Again, just throwing some treats on the floor here to proof that stay. And when I ask him to come to me, he unfortunately does grab one, but he leaves the rest. Again, proofing an automatic stop when I stop. You can see now he's very tempted by those treats, but he's leaving them without being asked, which is what I want. We want an automatic food refusal, and I don't wish to tempt fate, so I now go and pick them up. Some really nice loose lead walking here. It is a little bit difficult for us both kind of figuring out the mechanics of where the lead needs to be positioned for him to keep it loose, but also not allowing it to get tangled in the wheelchair. I really like here how he's adjusting himself and changing his position based on me spinning. He was very interested in the toy that we picked up for Ted there.
Yes. McDonald's chips.
And now, unfortunately, you see the biggest area that we have to work on. He has no idea how to... He needs to learn to walk behind me in the wheelchair and tuck in tight with heel work rather than walk around bollards, because I don't think that's going to go very well for us. And now here's a really interesting moment. You see here, he pauses, he starts to sniff, he starts to crouch his head low. And you might think here, why did you not move away? Why did you not redirect him? Why did you not pull him back towards you? Because I wanted to see if he would make the right choice, and he does. And then he barks. And you can see he's not quite happy here. So I'm just rewarding him and marking him with a yes when he redirects to me and he engages with me again. And now at this point I see that he's probably going to carry on. So we move away. And what I was happy with here is that he did manage to move away. His body language isn't super happy, but he didn't bark. He managed to calm himself down, and he moved away with me, loose lead walking, which says to me that he is able to control himself and manage his arousal. And then we just picked up some flea stuff for the dogs, and he practiced waiting while I was speaking to somebody. Okay, so you've just watched me take Cinnamon into Pets at Home. And then the next thing that I think you're about to see is me sat outside my younger brother's school with Cinna. Now, Cinna gets quite nervous around children and can bark. There was a lot going on there in that little environment for him. And that's why you see him whining and crying. And what you then see me do is give him a yes as I mark and reward him for silence, basically, or any signs of decreased arousal. But you know, all in all, I would say a good combination of experiences, a good outing. Not perfect, far from it. I'd give it, you know what, we're gonna give it an out of 10. We're gonna give it a scale. Yes. I'm gonna say it was a 5 out of 10. So, good, not great, needs work, but overall pleased, and I think I should be glad for where he's at for his age. Good. And now I have about 40 minutes in which to try and go and chuck something down my neck because I feel really shaky, and then I have to get ready for a meeting with a retailer about writing for their business, which I'm very nervous about actually, because while I've done a lot of media work in the past, I've never done paid appearances, and this would be a paid opportunity, so quite nervous about that. So fingers crossed the meeting goes well, and I will check in with you after that. Okay, oh my god, I have to be super quick because my mum needs the car, but my meeting went really well. Do you know what? Gonna kind of have a big in myself up moment. I'm really proud of myself. I lost so much confidence when it came to anything educational or career-wise when I became sick, because obviously I wasn't doing anything anymore. And while I've done a lot of media work, it has all kind of been through TED social media or Chance or Fluke, and this was the one time that I've actually been headhunted for my professional skills, and I was really nervous because I had to kind of think about like what I wanted to charge them, and that's not really an area that I have expertise in, and so I consulted with a media agency, and I was like, you know, what should I be charging? The price that they gave me was a lot higher than I was going to charge, and so I kind of went with a figure that was in the middle. And I suggested it to them, and they were like, okay, well, it is admittedly at the higher end of our budget, but let's see if we can make it work. So, fingers crossed, I might have actually kind of landed my first proper paid job, which is very exciting. Oh my goodness, hello Ted. It's really not for very many hours. It would just be writing blog posts, but I'm still proud of that. I'm not going to minimize that. But yeah, so Ted was very helpful through the entire meeting because he just brought me everything that is in my car. So, very professional. But Cinna, meanwhile, was fast asleep in the back. But you know what? I'm so glad to have him back to his usual cheeky self. Also, can we just appreciate that he got wet and then his hair dried, and look at how stuck up it is? Like, he literally has a cowlick on the back of his head. Like, look. Anyway,